Ready to embrace the magical side of life, where anything is possible and the infinite is accessible to all? Let's have a conscious conversation about what's going on in the world, in your life, and your relationship from the expanded perspective of your soul. The path to awareness begins and ends in the heart. So let's take it there, one step at a time, and learn to cultivate magic in your life every single day. In each episode, we share a collective space in which we discover the unique facets of our own magic and embody our superhuman qualities by humbly exploring how it's super simply to be human. Hosts Kaí and Dell co-create a magical experience to remind you that you are magical as fuck. Now, be unleashed. This is our daily magic.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Our Daily Magic. This is called Magical Moment. I was thinking of the song that I was playing for my son earlier, Magic Moments. But this is a conscious conversation, magical conversation with magical beings. Today is going to be just Kaí and I having a magical conversation with whoever decides to show up in this moment. I see there's one person there. I don't know if that's Kaí or someone here, but if there's someone there, let us know. We appreciate you. We love you. And let's get into it. So that's what I wanted to say first.
Mm-hmm.
This goes out to the entrepreneurs out there. This goes out to anyone. Maybe you handle sales or something for your business. I mean, we all have to, if you're an entrepreneur, you got your own business, you got to sell to get clients or whatever. So I wanted to give you a little nugget to help you out as a courtesy. And it's something that I was doing before, and it's something that has popped up synchronistically in my email. And I felt the need to share it to help whoever is out there with their business to be able to connect more and to build more rapport. And also at the end of the day, to drive more business for you. So I just got an email from somebody, and it's so funny. In the subject line, it said touch and base. So I was like,
what does that even mean?
Exactly. But it's like a sales term, touch and base. I was like, I guarantee this is a sales email I'm about to get. And I looked at it, and it was. And here's the interesting thing that happens. So when somebody, and I'm guilty of this as well, when somebody contacts somebody, so touch and base you. So then the person say, hey, I'm just touching base to see how something's going.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, why don't you just touch base in a moment and see what happens, not make the announcement and just do it type of thing. So it was so funny. I just remember like in my sales world when I would call somebody and I would do that, and it was like, yeah, so hey, such and such, this is Dell. I'm calling to check and see what's going on with you. So how are things going with you? As opposed to like, hey, this is Dell. How are things going with you?
What would the subject line be instead?
No, I mean, like for me, I call people.
You call people.
Have a conversation.
Yeah.
With it. But it's like, it reminds me, and this is the spiritual word right here. When somebody's going through something, let me hold space for you. I'm going to hold space for you. I'm going to hold space for you. It just reminds me of that same type of energy instead of just be it.
Mm-hmm.
Why you got to talk about what you want to do and just be it and do it from the beingness. So
wait, can I answer that question?
Go ahead. Yeah.
You said why not, right?
Yeah.
And I got stuck in this loop myself, which is why I want to talk about it, because I got stuck in the loop of asking permission. So it's like, let me ask permission to have a conversation first.
I like that though. That's good.
And that, like, getting past that really got me into, the like more embodiment. Like, for instance, if let's say that a client asked me to order something, I don't know, that they need, right? And I just happen to be a resource for that, or, that I offered that, like, hey, would you like for me to, to get something for you? And then they ask me, and then I get it, and then that's it, right? That is transactional. That's what sometimes people think that sales are like. But what if I was like, hey, well, like you were saying, what's going on with you? Why do you need this? Then I could provide them with a conversation or service that, goes above and beyond just a transaction.
Yeah, you made a valid point, and that's the difference between transactional selling and that building rapport type of relationships type of thing. But then also, I like to call the terminology conscious selling. What is up, Peter? He is in the building.
Hey, Peter.
But yeah, like I call it conscious selling, but it's not even selling, it's building a relationship, but obviously providing service with someone, but not having the intent of I'm just coming here to sell type of thing. Really connecting with people, especially in these times. A lot of us would love to have more connections with people. And even just having that conversation with no agenda, it's crazy. It's pretty cool what happens when you just have a conversation with no agenda. It's like some deep stuff. And then obviously what happens a lot is you actually can see how you can be of service for somebody with no conditions. A lot of times reach out to these people, like for example, I just got this message. He's reaching out to me to touch base with a condition. Wants to see if I'm still interested in buying the products. So I want to see how you're doing. It's like, hey, I'm touching base, see how you're doing, and if you want to still get this product type of thing.
Yeah.
And the terminology, which is so true, is none of us want to be sold. We never want to be sold on something. It feels like type of thing. I have done it. I have had it done to me. That's why I still have this Lexus car, because I got sold to with this thing, and this felt like after, I feel like I need to take a cold shower. But that, let's see. I'm just reading a message from Peter. I'm trying to get in your podcast. I think he's in. Oh, he's in there. Why did I just get the message? I didn't get the message before. Yep, he's good to go. So the transactional relationship and rapport thing. And that's what I wanted to point out now for people out there that has a business, or maybe even we have something we want to get out there type of thing. And what about being able to connect with people with no agenda type of thing? Like really just connect with them. And it's remind me of what you're just telling me of, as a person that we offer our service to, and you're able to just connect with this person and being of service of this person with no agenda type of thing.
Right.
And not really, hey, remember this thing going on type of thing.
Yeah.
And it helps take pressure off type of thing as well. But I wanted to just start off with that because of that going on. And obviously whoever's listened to this just got a nugget, especially if you're struggling to get clients or struggling with your business, afraid of the sales process. Because a lot of people out there, which is interesting, a lot of people who have their own business are afraid of selling. And there's a lot of companies out there who want to teach you their way of selling type of thing to manipulate and all this other stuff. And if you're over here in this magical community, you have a spiritual business, I'm sure you want to be able to do things with the connection to your spirit and allowing the spirit to flow through you with these powerful conversations of just connecting to people with no agenda. That's it for that I'm good with.
That was good.
Yeah, that's a good one. And yeah, you're welcome, Peter. Yeah, felt the need of saying that in the moment. And that's how I really been living more so now of this in the moment stuff and using it as a tool to bring it as a tool to share and also to integrate for myself. So that was one thing right there. And what's another thing going on? Oh, that's another good one. I was having an engaging conversation, so that's the reason why I was late. It was a pretty good engaging conversation. We're talking about upbringings, talking about having kids, and also like raising a kid, and now like holding a space to allow the kid freedom to explore him or herself, type of thing, and not try to be so controlling. But a good thing that happened in the conversation was interesting is how the person who is about to have a kid soon, they were telling me how they are going to parent their kid to give the kid experiences that they never had, that they wish that they did have. They said they will, matter of fact, they said they would like to do that. And obviously, the cool thing about it is this person is so aware to say it, but I want to also make sure to see what the kid wants to do as well and be able to give them experiences, him or her experiences in that way. And it's pretty cool because a lot of us, we've been parented with the conditions of our parents to do things a certain way, be a certain way. And also we was talking about experiences. So like if a parent experienced a traumatic experience, they want to do everything as possible to protect the kid from having that experience. And that protection may even limit the kid from having experiences for the fear of what the parents may be afraid of. But then it goes on for generations and other generations, and never really took a aware look at that. And another person in the conversation, they were saying just how they didn't know what was really going on with their mother, and they wanted as a kid to be able to connect with the mother more, have like that relationship with the mother type of thing. And the mother wasn't receptive to it. But what happened before the mother passed on, there was actually have a conversation with the mother to learn about the mother's upbringings, the mother's experiences up to the moment, and realize that the mother dealt with a lot of stuff that closed her up. So it was actually kind of hard for her to open up, but close to the latter days of her life, she was actually opening up and sharing a story, which also enabled the person to have more compassion for the mother and also to be able to understand the story. A lot of times we can see people from a surface level, or we may see people from the experience that we have, whatever it may be, and not allowing potentially opportunity to see where this person is coming from, their own experience, and like what led them to doing stuff that they did in a moment. Obviously, that takes some conversation, some compassion, some patience type of thing going on.
And of course, connection.
Yeah, connection, holding space.
I have a question. What are some ways to connect to self? I mean, we talk about like connecting with other people all the time, like talking without conditions and, kind of like getting into the other person's world. Like, is that even possible if the person is not connected to themselves? Can they connect with other people?
I feel like they can.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, what level of connection can you have to somebody else? And there's some people out there who are not really connected to themselves, but they can connect to others deeply.
Mhm.
Let's say like somebody's not connected to themselves and they're a people pleaser. They're connecting to this person for the sake of pleasing them, type of thing. And obviously, the balance of that overly people pleasing. So that's a way for them to connect with someone else, and they're not really connecting themselves. Maybe that connection to that other person is helping them to not have to deal with that connection to themselves because they don't want to take a look at that.
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you think?
I agree with what you said about how it could look like people pleasing, or it's possible without connection to self.
Yeah, it was interesting in this conversation I was having as well,
Mhm.
which is a great segue from what we're just talking about of the like not or not seeing or having a conversation of what people or let somebody up to how they are right now and you're seeing surface level stuff. So we were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer with it.
The guy that ate people.
Oh, that's what he did.
That's what I've heard.
It's funny, I hear his name, but I don't really know that much about him.
Mhm.
But then what I heard in the story about it is they said that when he was a young kid, Peter said, my problem in the past was that I liked everybody without putting in a filter. Yeah, he eat quite a bit. That's talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. Wow, that's crazy. But we were talking about a story, or they were sharing a story with me, this one, in which it was this 14-year-old kid. 14-year-old kid that actually escaped from him. But they were saying the story, I guess like what he does is like he gives them like stuff to like drug them up or whatever it may be. And this 14-year-old escaped and was running away naked, running away. And he actually ran into two cops with it. So he ran into the two cops to help save him. But the 14-year-old kid was gay. And the two cops at that time was homophobic. And so then the kid got away. The kid ran to the cops, say, help me, type of thing. And the cops didn't help him. But then what happened from there was Jeffrey Dahmer found them. And Jeffrey Dahmer was like, oh, that's just my gay lover. And the cops just said, go ahead, take him with him. And you know what happened to that kid after that.
Crap.
Yeah. So it's interesting. One with the Jeffrey Dahmer thing of comes like this. I guess they did like a study on him. They're talking about brain chemistry, and we were just having a conversation of how we've the belief, or what we're talking about is how everyone deep down are good people, but then life does the stuff, and then the experiences can mold you into something that truly deep down in your core you're not. And with Jeffrey Dahmer, they said something, some psychology is saying that they said sometimes like the brain chemistry or something like that. Some people are just, was it the chemically balanced to like this be like these type of things out there. So I was like, the question I asked, I'm like, because like Jeffrey Dahmer is doing stuff at a young age with the cats and stuff. Like I guess he was killing cats or killing animals at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what if like there was intervention at that time when that stuff was going on? What could have potentially happened later on? And what I also meant with that, I'm like, it's like the snowball effect type of thing. When a snowball becomes an avalanche, and with snowball, like suppressed emotions and things like that, when it becomes an avalanche that we can't handle, or maybe conditioning that just was a little bit, but now it's so embedded in us that we just embody whatever condition it may be. So it made me wonder, like, I wonder if he had like intervention at a young age, would that have helped him to like shift his life, or even like what was his upbringing as a kid as well?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. That's funny. Well, not funny, but like childhood is very influential.
It shapes us. It shapes in more ways than none, because it our beliefs for experiences, especially if we never had that space to have conversations about how we feel in the moment, and it could potentially be like shifted for you, or maybe explained to you, or what's really going on. But then we carry on these stories. This happened, this means this, so it means that I'm this, or whatever it may be, at such a young age. And then, like I said, the avalanche in which we're just embodying this belief, And obviously we're powerful. We create experiences that are going to showcase that, or even if we believe something, we're going to do everything possible to make everything go back to what we believe. And that may include even self-sabotage and things that are good, that are potentially good because your beliefs are, it needs to be chaos or whatever it needs to be.
Mm.
Ooh. Peter said, I live probably 30 miles away from John Gacy around 1979, 1983, when I lived in Chicago. And he said, my uncle lived his whole life being in the closet.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was another thing we were talking about. So that's another segue.
Mm-hmm.
So with the gay thing, the gay person, so I'm curious. I'm like the people being homophobic at that time. I was like, I wonder why. And there's a lot of things that were happening. One, they said, and I ain't noticed. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So one, with the AIDS pandemic going on at that time when AIDS started spreading, and then they were saying like gay people are the reason why AIDS is here and why AIDS is running rampant because of gay people type of thing, and only gay people can get it. Did you know that the church said this is God's way of eradicating them?
Wow.
I don't know which church said that. I'm not going to throw it like universally on every church because like there's all different versions. But
yeah,
when I heard it, I'm like, dang. But then that theory got debunked when straight people started getting it. So it's like God saying like, oh, word? But I was talking about that. I'm like, people shame these guys or people or men, women that have like same-sex relationships and stuff like that as sinful and evil and all these different things, an abomination type of thing like that. And I'm like, I laugh at that notion. And the reason why I laugh at that notion is because for those of you out there who have experienced God and your one-on-one relationship with the divine that's uniquely with you, whatever way you're able to like get into that space experiencing it, it's just love. It's just bliss. And also like common sense thinking. You think that the creator of all of this amazing things is going to hold a grudge with you because of your free will. And this thing loves you unconditionally. But if you step on conditions, it's going to hold a grudge at you like a bitter ex that can't get over the fact that you did something. Or like, really, it's like Richard Rohr say, the Santa Claus theory. It's laughable to me, but people could believe what they want to believe. But then I want to take it to another level.
Yeah.
If you want to. So, and this is a theory that I heard, and then I heard Dolores Cannon say it, and it came through me one time. I'm like, yo, so that was really true. So they're shaming, when people shame people, it's like, for example, shaming for your race, your sexual preference, whatever it may be. Here's the catch-22 about it. And I totally believe this. This whole existence, this existence that we're in is like billions of years old for a while. And this is not our first rodeo here. That our body, this body that I'm having right now, this is the first time for this body being here, but our soul's internal.
It's not even the first time for this body being here.
This feature that I have.
This configuration.
Yes, this configuration. But the soul, our souls are formless. Our soul is infinite. Our soul is infinite. I said it twice, so that way you can catch it. But this is not our first time here. We have reincarnated here over and over and over and over and over and over and over. I can't say the over for how many times we've been here. I mean, here all the time, people having like past life regressions and all these other stuff of former lives that they were a part of. So if that's the case, that we had all these different lives, you don't think that you were a different race than you are right now? You don't think that you're a different sex preference here? And what if the people who are here that in this bodysuit in this current life with the same sex, what if they're doing that because in another life they were the opposite?
Can I share my perspective?
Yeah.
My perspective is that we're all the same being. So I'm saying the same thing, but just my flavor is that all of us are the same being. We're the same being, just in different expressions and different forms and different perspectives. But at our source, we're the same being. So even simultaneously in this lifetime, we're still experiencing all different races, all different cultures, all different orientations, just from another set of eyes. So from that perspective, I feel like rejecting of someone else is rejecting a part of self. And it's like, okay, well, what other parts of yourself are you rejecting? What other parts of yourself can you not accept? If there's no acceptance for a particular race or influence or even set of beliefs.
Yeah. And it's also, this is cool because the work that Dolores Cannon done with people and like took them in past lives and stuff, they were that a different race, a different color, this thing. But there was like a game. So like this person was like a part of a tribe. And with them being part of the tribe, they got killed. They got killed by like warriors that came into their tribe and killed them. So then like when he got killed, they came out and it said like a video game, like, oh, like that was cool. So then it was like a school type thing. All right, you ready to go back in? So now you're about to go in as a warrior now, as the opposite. So it's like pretty cool. And we're just talking about the differences, meaning like there was a life that we were rich, there's a life that we weren't rich, there's a life in which there could have been a life for me that I was part of the KKK. And now I'm experiencing a different version of it. It's very interesting to like really take a look at that. Because listen, what if like before this life I came in 1985, I was doing some wild shit. It's all right, you gotta experience the opposite side type of thing. And even like the different locations, I think that's the mind-boggling thing as well. Meaning like, in these different lives, we're in different locations. We didn't keep reincarnating the same thing. We're in different locations as well, different countries, different parts of the universe, meaning like different live things. They were saying like the human experience, and this is like deep. I'm like, yo, this is pretty cool. So they're saying before we like incarnate in like this human body, we have an experience as an animal. And the way that you know that an animal is about to become like in a human form is when like the animals get domesticated to have a human experience, which is, I'm like, yo, that's kind of cool. So like I had a feeling like Hopper being here, like we're actually teaching Hopper because his next incarnation is going to be a human.
The cat.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. So the cats, dogs, whatever pet. But I was like, does that count as like lizards and stuff too? You'd like take a lizard or take a pet fish type of thing. So those couple TPs already reincarnated as humans. Peter said a couple of good things. He said, I was told that I was a little African-American baby in a past life. See, like there's some valid truth to this thing, man. And there's more to this than what we can grasp with our human mind and the spiritual experience. But then also there's things come in and like, this is not our first rodeo here as well. But obviously with us being in the space that we're in right now, and also the the path that we're on, it just shows that we've done a lot of work up to this moment. Leading here. And then Peter said, I must have been a red-tailed hawk in the past.
Nice.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I saw myself as a dinosaur chilling.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool thing too, going all the way back. Like seeing all those different things. And I'm like, because the thing, like what they say, like the whole past life regression thing, I'm like, yo, I know I lived a lot of lives here. So my regression would be a minute. But also I just like accept the fact that like what I have all the information in me. So whatever is ready to get unlocked gets unlocked, type of thing. I'm not like, oh, let me find out what past life is affecting me in my present life, type of thing. I feel like what affected me in my present life is affecting my present life, and I have all the tools within me to work it. I don't need to discover where and when something may have happened. Obviously, it's a catalyst, but there's a lot of tools in the present moment to be able to move through things. But obviously, also just that connection with the divine helps out a lot.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, we're at 5 o'clock.
This was great.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yeah. And
ooh, y'all better tune in for next week. And also next Friday, we have a special workshop called Intentional Dating. And it's a workshop to really like hone in on, it's like we say, we're spiritual people. And do you bring that spirituality to your dating, situations? You know, like, does all of that awareness go out the window once you're sitting across the table from a person and getting to know them? Or can you bring that skill set literally to that relationship from the very beginning, wherever it goes? So we're going to do some explorations for all of you single people out there. You can find it on Eventbrite, and also you can find it in this group, which is facebook.com/groups with an S at the end /Our Daily Magic. And you can find out how to sign up for that because it's going to be lit. So there's that. Intentional dating, and next week's guest is gonna be awesome, so make sure that you're here, and we'll see you then. Stay magical.